Hey, I'm Coach Mikki, and I'm so glad that you've joined us. And if this is your first time joining us, come on in and make yourself comfortable. For those of you that join us on a regular basis, I am so glad that you do. Thank you so much for reaching out to all of our guests. And as you know, within every YouTube video and podcast, you're going to find everything you need in the description below to be able to connect. And I am so grateful that a lot of you reach out to me with your comments, your questions, and your suggestions for the guests that you'd like to have on. And today is no different. I'm very excited to have on this guest because she's going to help launch you forward in your life, whether it's through your business, whether it's personal, and it's going to give you something that's going to help you with your goals to be able to get to the area that you want to get to and to where you would like to achieve the most best of you. So she is America's #1 action coach, success coach. She's a strategist, she is a seasoned consultant and scalable business advisor, boosting expertise in the systematic thinking. She has been featured on Fox News, USA Today, CNBC. Coach Lori is very passionate about producing champions and doing things that's going to help you with your business in more ways than you can possibly imagine. So thank you so much for being with us today. Coach Lorianne, how are you?
Coach Mickey, I'm wonderful. So thank you, and I'm so grateful to be on. Love speaking to your listeners and people who watch you and follow you, and love speaking to another coach. And I know you do more sports coaching, but there's not a lot of differential between sports coaching and business coaching. So
Well, you've got, and I want to apologize for stumbling over some of your information, but you are so extraordinary in what you do, and your list is a mile long. So I figured it'd be better for you to be able to share that than for me just to read it off in your bio, because I think it gives a little bit more of who you are, and then we can get a little bit more in depth of why people reach out to you and why you're so successful, because you offer such an incredible program that's going to be able to help people within their lives. But I want to ask you first, so how did you get started with this? What's your story?
interesting story, right? So I have an interesting background in various businesses, doing a lot of different things in various businesses. But I was in this one particular job and I wasn't really being taken seriously. My voice wasn't being heard, even though I was in a leadership role and I had a huge department reporting to me. I actually walked into a meeting that I was invited to. I reported directly to the president. The president kept telling me, "You're going to do this project. You're going to do this project." I walk into the meeting and I look up on the screen and the project's done. You can only imagine the amount of variety of emotions that went through me when I was sitting there. And I was like, okay. And they had done a beautiful job. I did have some suggestions, but as I sat there, this amazing calm came through me. And at the end of the meeting, I got up, I took my access card out of my wallet, and I walked over to the president's office. I walked in and took my access card, put it on his desk, went, "Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm done." And I walked out of the office. And I never looked back and I didn't know what I was going to do. And that's not me. That was never me. I was always told, hey, you have one job before you leave another job, have one foot in each. I just left. And as I'm driving down the Long Island Expressway, I live in New York, driving down the Long Island Expressway, I was like, okay, I'm either going to have a nervous breakdown or another shoe's going to fall. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Neither happened. What did happen, Mickey, was this big weight came off of my shoulder, lifted off of my shoulder, and I didn't have this feeling of being trapped because I was now on the path to do what I was meant to do. And at that moment, I knew it was time to blow up the life as I knew it and transition into what I was supposed to do. So since I've been in business 35 plus years doing marketing and business, I've always counseled, mentored, coached, been a guru, whatever, a muse for leadership. When I sat there, I have this special ability to see 7, 8, 10 steps down from where you are today. So when somebody says something, I'm like, oh, and they say they want to go in this direction, I try to get them to go in this direction so it's the shortest path possible. So I had to learn how to really harness that energy and be able to help people. So then I became a full-time coach and this is what I do. And I found out people got paid to be coaches and I was like, awesome, because I had been doing it all along as part of who I am. And it's been part of me since I was very young. And I saw hints and whispers of that throughout my life. But this was the time that universe, God, source, however you refer to your higher power, was like, it's now, now, go now. So, and I did. And that has been the most rewarding transition possible, but very painful because I had to blow everything up and put myself into a position where it could have been fearful, but I chose not to look at it from a fearful state. I chose to look at it as now everything's possible. Anything was possible in front of me. I just had to decide what I wanted to be when I grew up.
Well, and I think going through something that's that uh, big of a change is scary anyway, because you don't know what's ahead and you had no game plan. But the fact that you had the courage to go, this doesn't resonate with me. This is not within my core value of who I am, and to make that decision on the fly and go with what your gut and your heart says. I think a lot of people are afraid to do that. They fight it. They don't want it. They're like, no, I can't, because like you said, I'm not lined up with their job. What am I going to do? I'm cutting all the ties with everything that is comfortable. And, I truly believe being comfortable is the most dangerous place you can be, because you
Absolutely.
don't strive. So for you to take that and do what you knew was right is so empowering. So what was your next step? What did you do after you got out of your car home from driving down the Long Island Highway and go, I don't have a job anymore?
That's right. Six-figure job to no job. Um, yeah, that it was really crazy with two kids in college and a roof over my head. I was a single mom at that time. So there was a lot going on at that moment, right? After I got through having a little short pity poor me party, which we all have, and I totally get it. I got bored with that and decided, okay, now it's time for me to take action. And remember, only 8% of us actually take action. 92% of us have that desire, like you were saying, but they never take the steps to do it. And if you're going to change, if you want to change, where, as Gandhi says, the only place where change starts is with you, right? So that's what I did. I was sick. I was getting myself sick working there. So now it was work on my health. It was focus on what I want to do. I actually started where I felt comfortable, talking about comfortable, which is marketing. So I started my business doing marketing because that's what I knew and that's what everybody knew me for. Let me do marketing. Let me help them do their marketing. But it kept, universe kept giving me hints and pushing me in the coaching direction. And that's when I met my coach and my mentor and my friend, Jack Canfield. And I was like, oh, all right, I got you now. So I can't tell you the exact where, what fors. It's the same thing when I got my radio show. I can't tell you exactly what happened, but I can tell you that it happened. And I just listened and followed with trust. That was my first lesson in trusting. I had trust issues big time. And trusting is the same as patience, is that it comes into you. It gets confirmed. Somebody said, oh, okay, well, here's a piece of business, and here's a piece of business, and here's a piece of business. And here's another person, and here's Jack. Learn from him. So all these things were being put in front of me, and I just kept saying yes, 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 yes to the things being put in front of me. And let me explain something I tell my clients all the time. I am most comfortable being uncomfortable. So I'm more comfortable being uncomfortable than I am comfortable, because I know I'm thriving. I'm growing. I'm not stagnating. I'm not sitting on the couch and being all comfy. I go, ruh-roh, I got to do something else. It's too comfortable. I got to challenge myself. And that's the way I can put more tools in my toolbox to help my clients.
And experience is the best way to do it, because then they see that you have taken these challenges that are in your life, and you've been able to overcome them and go through, like you said, and then use those as tools to help others to see that direction. It's so funny. I think people are afraid. They call it risk. I don't take a risk. It's like, but that's what life is. If you just think you're waiting for everything to line up, it's never going to happen, because things don't line up. They just don't. And you might think they're lining up, and then by the time you get to step five, it's so haywire that you're like, what do I do with this? And
And
that's
it
where
looks
everybody
different.
stops,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it looks different. Things change as you go. Even so what I say too is you have a dream, put the dream out there, but don't hold it tight like this, because where is the growth potential in this? So if you're holding the dream tight, I used to be round peg, square hole. Oh my gosh, this is what I want it to look like. This is all I want it to look like. And all these opportunities were flying by me that would have taken me in a different direction. So you have to learn to navigate with what's coming at you, and just understand where you want to go. You got to know if you're going to, if you're going on a trip, you have to know if you're going to Florida, if you're going to the Bahamas, if you're going to Tuscany, Italy, wherever you're going, you got to know where you want to go. Doesn't mean you end up there. Doesn't mean it's going to look like that. It will probably look better, because The universe gives us even better than we can even think of. So we dream, and we can only dream what we can do, by the way. We can only dream of things that we already have the capability to do. What do I mean by that? Our success codes are already in us when we're born. Everything is inside. Our society has us looking outside of ourselves for validation, for success. What does success look like? Everybody else's definition of success. I say to that, stop it. Your success is in here. Look inside yourself. You know, you have the ability, now learn the tools. You have the desires and the dreams. Now figure out who you need to talk to and what you need to do so that you could do that and just follow your dreams. So many times along the way, we allow other people's opinions, other people's thoughts to direct us and navigate us. And what I say to that is, and we were speaking about this earlier, is it's none of my business what anybody else thinks. I do want to listen to advice. My mother used to yell at me all the time. She's like, well, if you're not going to take my advice, why do you even ask for it? And I was like, because I wanted a different opinion. And I took pieces of her advice. I didn't do the whole picture. And that annoyed the bejeebus out of her. And I was like, Mom, I appreciate it. I love your version, but I need a 360 version of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to you, Mikki. I'm going to talk to my mom. I'm going to talk to my dad. I'm going to reach out to the people who I know have traveled down this road, the who. I want to reach out to those people so I can figure out how I want it to look like for me. It's not their journey, it's my journey. So once I explained that to Mom, she stopped yelling at me and she understood why I was asking you the question. And I say the same thing to your listeners, which is, figure out what you want. You have to decide what you want. Then the rest is easy. You get an accountability partner, you get a coach who helps direct you. You get that who already has been through it. I serve my former self. I serve the former version of me before I allowed myself to blow up my whole world. But I'm so much happier here. So much happier. It's so much fun. I love what I do every day, and I love the people I get to serve, and it's so much better. My health is back. I lost 40 pounds. I love what I do. I get to speak to people like you, Mikki, who has it better than me?
Yeah. Well, you're right. And when you change the inside, everything looks different on the outside, and it becomes everything that you want. That's one of the things I think people are afraid of. They're afraid to look, and they have to dig deep. You're going to have to do some work, and you're going to have to face things on the dark and scary ride that's of life, of your
Yeah,
past
yeah,
sometimes, that says, hey, why am I doing this? And then my question has always been, and this is something that I use as a tool for myself, is how long do I want to spend on this? How
yeah.
long do I want to keep feeling bad? How much longer do I want to keep spending on feeling this way, or addressing or revisiting something that's not serving me anymore? And when you can answer those questions, that's when you start moving forward. Now you take the tools that you're offering and what you have and the guidance that you're producing and helping people get through. Now you've got the perfect recipe for success,
Yeah.
because you're taking everything that everybody needs, and you're guiding them down this path and this journey of their life to be able to understand those elements. And I love what you said. It's not listening to what somebody said, but pick and choose what works for you. Does it fit within your values? Does it fit within what you need to move forward? And how much of it is not real, that you're telling yourself or someone's saying, has become a belief?
Yeah, a
And
lot of times what people are saying to you are their fears. And remember, beliefs are just thoughts we think over and over again. So we can change those thoughts, therefore we can change our beliefs. So it's about information and input. And what I like to have people do is they need to focus on the what. I can help you with the how to get there and how to do it, but you need to understand what you want to do. So focus on what you want to do, and then we'll figure out the how, because there's always a way to get you there. Because if you're thinking about it, you have the ability to do it. Otherwise, God, universe, source would not give you the thoughts. They would not put those thoughts in your mind. And be unique. Why are unique? Be you. You be you, boo. Be you, because each of us bring this little element that it serves a certain group of people. Somebody said that to me once, and I'm like, that's genius. We can't serve everybody. If you and I wanted to serve everybody on in the world, we wouldn't be able to do it. There's not enough time in the day. But there's a group of people out there that universe has waiting for us to serve them as we are, right? And so if you think of it that way, they're waiting for you. So we need you to take action now so you could go serve those people. They're waiting for you. So I'll use a little Italian guilt is they're waiting for you. So let's do the work now. Let's figure out what your what is so you can serve those people who are waiting for you. And then you get to do what you love and that yumminess comes out. And then all that special superpower that every one of us has. Every one of us has value. Every one of us wants to be seen and heard. Every one of us has a contribution. And you just, like I had said before, you pick and choose what works for you and you allow them to be them. And to me, that separation is a great thing. My life partner used to say to me, that doesn't work for me. And that used to annoy the bejeebus out of me. And then one day I got the aha moment of how brilliant that statement is. It kind of goes back to it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, right? That doesn't work for me, doesn't take the wind out of my sail. It's like, it's okay, you could do it. I just don't want to do it. And it's not saying no to me, it's just saying it doesn't work for me. So it's a very nice way to say, I don't want to do that, but you go ahead and I will be your cheerleader without dumping any of his stuff onto me. And when I realized the brilliance behind that statement, it still annoyed me, but the brilliance behind the statement, because it takes the wind out of the sail, you can't get around that argument. You cannot get around it. I have tried. Trust me. But it's brilliant because it really says what you really mean, and that's intentional. And when we're intentional, we're on the right path.
That is so true. That is so true. And again, like you said, you have to go back into look at your own inner self, like you said, because it bothered you. And then you were, but see, you took the tools and your experience, and you're like, okay, but why? Why is this bugging me? But then when you put it together, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And now it's not affecting you anymore because it's the understanding, it's the communication. So give me or I should say, share with us five things that you think people should do that, or even just three things. So when people are working with you, what are some of the guides and ways that you will be able to help them achieve the next step in the goals if they're trying to move forward in their life?
Yeah, well, so when somebody works with me, it's about becoming the best version of themselves. And the first step is figuring out again what do you want? People aren't asked that question. People don't even think of it for themselves is what do you want? Not your spouse, your mom, your dad, your kids, your a significant other, whatever. What do you want? So that's the first step is figuring that out. And then having that vision of what does it look like? Then when I step in, we look at that and we now can dive even deeper. And that's when the how comes. How do I get it accomplished? What happens, the reason why 92% of us don't take action is because we get stuck in the how. And I say, leave the how on the shelf right behind me, leave it on the shelf in that little basket. And just let it go for now. Just focus on what you want. That is the number one way for you to step off and then get a who, someone like myself, yourself, a coach, and make sure that coach has a coach because a coach without a coach is not coachable. But get with someone, a who knows how to do what you want to do. So if you want to grow yourself, if you want to become the best version of yourself, if you want to move forward, that person should know how to do that and be able to bring you through those steps. So first step is knowing what you want. Then it's getting you a who, and then you'll go to the how. So those are the three.
That's great. And then, and again, all your information is going to be down. It's down. The links will be down below, but they'll also be embedded in the podcast. But just while we're talking, so how can people reach out to you? What is the best way to find you?
So a couple different ways. They can, of course, reach me on any social media, Coach Lorianne, on YouTube, Coach Lorianne. Also, they can go to coachlorianne.com if they wanted to look at my Take Action community and Take Action with Jet Propulsion programs. They can get involved with me. If they just want to have a chat, there's a way to jump in there to get a chat. They can call me at 516-983-3591, or they can go to my company website, which is ldcstrategies.com. Because all my radio shows up there, my book is up there, everything about me is up in that one little place of ldcstrategies.com. So if you can't find me, you're not looking.
So I'm going to ask you, what are some of the fun things you enjoy doing? Okay, so I know we always strive, and you and I are a lot alike. It's like our whole day is focused on getting this done, getting and having this our day laid out. And as we know, things go crazy. But also, what do you do to find time for yourself to keep your own mental health strong?
Oh yeah, and so important. It's so important. You should not do this 7 days a week. You need to take time to quiet your head. That's when most of my genius comes out because I'm in my head. I go play golf. I hang out with my friends. I play as hard as I work. So I go out. We go to dinner. I love we're foodies. My partner and I are foodies. I love to travel. And the cool thing about my job is when I travel, I get to do retreats. So I have a couple of retreats coming up and going to places like Costa Rica and enjoying the environment. So those are the things I do. And we're going skiing this weekend. So I'm really excited about getting down the slopes and just shushing everything else out. The silence of just hearing the shush of the snow as you're going down is like a meditation for me. I also meditate. That's an opportunity when I can't get out and we're really busy like you are, Mikki. I go do things like that. So yeah, you got to keep the fun in your life. You got to find the fun. And when you have challenges, just ask this one question to yourself, which is, what am I supposed to learn? If you change your lens from, oh my gosh, this is so painful, to what am I supposed to learn? It changes everything and you get through it a lot quicker.
That is so true. Do you also find, and maybe this is just something that I've noticed, but I'm a lot of times when I'm doing things that I really love that's outside of work or if I'm not coaching, is when I'm by myself and I have that opportunity to kind of quiet my mind, that's when some of the best downloads come. That's when some of the best ideas, some of the best answers come to me because I'm not trying to force it and stress it. I've removed myself from the situation. I've even moved, even if you remove yourself from your environment, and what I mean by that is just leave your house, leave your office, leave wherever you are that you're struggling, go do something completely different that changes your mindset, your vision, and just the way you feel. I get some of the best downloads. Do you find that with yourself?
Absolutely. I'll go take a walk. I'll take a walk and suddenly be focused on this flower, and all of a sudden this thought comes in and it's just like answer to the question that you've been, paralyzed with. It's similar to, have you ever had a conversation, you're trying to find a word and you can't find a word, and the harder you try to find it, the farther away it gets. You kind of know what it is, you kind of visualize it, but you can't grasp it. Same thing with answers to where you're supposed to go. And I intentionally ask questions out loud of, what am I supposed to learn? What am I supposed to do? What is the next step? What is the best way to handle this? And I just throw it out there, and then I'll go take a walk, or I'll go on the beach, or I'll sit in the hot tub, and then all of a sudden it's like genius. And it's just, I call it a download. It's just a download of the answer to the question. But because I let the space there, my brain wasn't, it wasn't carnival acting. My brain wasn't going 20 miles an hour. It allowed the space for it to come in. So you need to have those quiet moments. You need to have that quiet walk or go for a bicycle ride, whatever resonates with you. You go into your happy place, go dancing. And the other day I just decided I'm going to sing, because I love to sing. I'm going to sing to my music. And I was dancing with my pup and I was having a good time. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, there's the answer. And then I went back to work because I released the constriction. Again, we went from a place where I was holding my hands really tight and there was no air or space in between it, right? To allowing my hands to be open and allowing it to come in. And when we're in what Esther Hicks calls the receptive mode, you can then receive the information that you need. So yeah, absolutely. That's when I call myself, I'm in genius zone. Not that I think of myself as a genius, but that's when those really aha moments come for us to allow us to help other people or to take the next step in our own business. So everything that people come to me for and you for, we've either gone through it or are going through it. That's why we can say, oh yeah, we know what you're going through. We have the t-shirts. I got a couple of them. I want to give them back, but for those experiences, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I'm so grateful for the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we all have good, bad, and ugly. We just have to accept that we have an opportunity every day to be the best version of ourselves and correct mistakes we've made in the past. And that's how we learn. We learn from our mistakes.
And you're so right. You're so right. So I'm going to ask you real quick. We got about 5 minutes, and I'm
Sure.
looking at your book that's behind you. So tell me a little bit about your book. And I'm assuming everybody can find it on Amazon.
You can find it on Amazon. If you just go to Coach Lorianne, you'll be able to find it. I'm a co-author in this book with 29 other authors. My chapter is called Two Choices, because I believe in our life there are only two choices: do it, don't do it, stuck, unstuck. And those are the two choices. We muck all of our choices and decisions up with a lot of emotion and other people. And we go outside and we keep asking people for information and the same question until we find the answer we really want. But we know the answer all along because it's where it's already inside us. And I'm always pointing to my heart. And we talk about it in the book. And I also go into my story where I blew everything up. But I talk about it in the book is that I point to my heart because when you're heart-centered and you think with your heart, and we do think with our hearts, we're in alignment with where we're supposed to go. Our head is the how. This is our what. Our head is the how. So our brains are there to help us through it. But we also have this mechanism in our brain that gets in our way, which is our protection, which is back in the back of our head, which is like, oh no, bear coming. But our brains can't tell the difference between a bear coming or a car rushing to us and us trying something new that we're nervous about. Our brain can't differentiate. So that's why I say go from the heart, focus on the what, don't worry about the how. And when the how keeps coming and going, but what about this? And what about this? And what about that? Just shelve it for now. We'll get to it. Work on the what. Because when you're clear on your what, the how is clear as well.
Well, I have been so excited to have you. And I know a lot of people are, so I call them our circle of friends, our listeners, our circle of friends are going to get so much value from what you have to offer. And please, please, please reach out to Coach Lorianne. I really think that you can benefit from everything she has to offer. And you said you have retreats. So maybe some of the places that you're going to be, some of our circle of friends may already live there because we're global. So I would love for those of you that do get an opportunity to reach out with Coach Lorianne to let us know. Send us comments, put comments down below. Reach out to me. Let me know that you had an opportunity to reach out and attend one of her events. So I'm going to give you the last 30 seconds to give us your brilliance and your insight before we wrap it up.
All I say is, if you have a dream, follow that dream and don't let anybody mute that dream on you. That's not what you're here for. Be the best version of yourself. Always strive for that. And when you're there, you're going to feel comfy and the universe will reward you. They will put whispers and nudges and billboards in front of you, confirming you're in the right direction. And definitely get an accountability partner for yourself, whether it's a bestie or a coach or someone to help you along that you can just say anything to and be able to get it out of your system, get good direction so you can achieve those goals that you're supposed to achieve during your lifetime and become that best version of you. And when you are, everything is possible.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate you taking the time to be able to share all your insight and expertise with our listeners.
Thank you so much for having me on, Coach Mikki. You are amazing. Thank you for everything you do. Your circle of friends are amazing, and thank you. We are so appreciative to be here and happy to help and serve in any way I possibly can. So thank you, Mikki.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Please reach out to Coach Lorianne. Again, everything's down in the description, or it's embedded in the description of the podcast if you're listening on any of our 19 platforms. I am so excited that she's been here. I know that many of you are always asking me these questions, or you're talking about it. I've seen the logs that you have put in, and I know she can offer you a lot of value, especially in a lot of the directions that you're going, whether it's personal or within your business. So I am so excited for all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, the most courageous thing you can do is be yourself. Until our next podcast, I'll see you.